Hello and welcome to The Big Picture. It's third front season all over again, or as some would like to say, the federal front season. Periodically, the Indian political scene gets all excited about the possibility of an emergence of a non-Congress, non-BJP conglomeration of parties. With the Lok Sabha election less than a year away, the build-up to the formation of a third front has begun in right earnest. While the trigger to such activity at different points of time in the last couple of decades has been different, this time around the elevation of Narendra Modi as the chief of the BJP's campaign committee seems to have triggered a series of events. It's interesting that all the discussion this time around is more about being anti-BJP rather than anti-Congress, though all the parties involved do parrot the equidistant theory. With three chief ministers of three different parties, Nitish Kumar of Janata Dal U, Naveen Patnaik of Biju Janata Dal and Mamta Banerjee of Trinamul Congress taking up this proposal, the question which is being asked is how viable will a third front or a federal front be? We will discuss this today with Bhartruhari Mahtab, the Biju Janata Dal MP in the Lok Sabha, Tyagi, the Janata Dal U MP in the Rajya Sabha, Vinod Sharma, political editor Hindustan Times, and Smita Gupta, deputy editor of the Hindu, and on the phone line from Kolkata is Sultan Ahmed, the Trinamul Congress MP. Welcome to all of you. First, let me go to Mr. Mahtab. Mr. Mahtab, this is third front season, or I know you would like to call it as a federal front. This is this federal front season all over again. But has anything changed in the last 5 years for this third or federal front to become a viable unit?
First of all, I should say there is a difference between third front and federal front.
Okay.
The idea of federal front is it is maintaining equidistance from Congress and BJP and to a certain extent from the left front. All third front were either supported by Congress or participated by left front. And to a certain extent, BJP also had supported a third front from outside.
Right.
So in that respect, these three formations of Congress, of BJP, of left front are not a part and participle of federal front. And federal front is more a conglomeration of different regional parties.
Right.
You have mentioned about Bihar, about Bengal, about Odisha.
Right.
But I would like to extend it a bit further. You will have parties from Jharkhand, you will have parties from Andhra Pradesh, you will have parties from Tamil Nadu, you will have parties from other distinct states which may form, may become a part of federal front. But I would say at this juncture, it is in a very nascent stage. It's in a very formative stage.
Right.
Nothing has been concretized yet.
Okay. Let me go to Mr. Tyagi. Mr. Tyagi, the whole trigger for this discussion and debate which has started about the possibility of a third front or federal front, as Mr. Mahtab would like it to be called, has been the way the Janata Dal U has been reacting in the last few days, especially after the elevation of Narendra Modi as the chairman of the campaign committee. You think this is what has triggered off this debate? The discomfort of your party with Narendra Modi?
Yeah, there are some problem in the alliance while working with these people after the Goa conclave.
Right.
And we have expressed our reservation. The kind of language, the kind of slogan were used in Panaji. I met Mamta ji.
Right.
She was of the opinion that both the alliance and both the mainstream parties also, Congress as well as the BJP, they have failed to keep the confidence and the faith of the allied parties. NDA was consisting of 25 parties, remained limited to only 2.
Right.
UPA was combination of 22 parties, now limited to 2. So the regional outfits, the regional framework, now they want to make a federal type of structure maintaining their political party's entity intact.
Right.
She spoke to Naveen Patnaik ji, a old leader of Janata Dal and our leader's son, of course, Biju Babu. She spoke to Sharad Yadav ji and Nitish Kumar as well as Babla Marandi ji of JVM. We were of the opinion that first we must make a confederation of 4 regional outfit.
Right.
That is JDU, JVM, BJD and TMC.
Right.
And all these 4 parties are demanding the special status for their state.
The respective states.
But Mamta ji, of course, she was very clear in her perspective, making a federal structure of all the regional outfits. But since we are the part and the parcel of NDA at this moment, so it will not be comfortable for me at this moment to make
How long do you think, Mr. Tyagi,
the conclusion that we will be joining this federation?
how long, Mr. Tyagi, will you be part of the NDA?
Yes. we are going to Patna tomorrow. Ours is a very important political meeting there tomorrow and the day after tomorrow.
Right.
Only then we will be able to react the proposal made by Mamta ji of a federal structure or the third front, whatever you call it.
Okay.
Before that, it will be improper on my part to commit my party's support to this federal structure. But we welcome it.
You welcome it. Okay. I think we have, let me see if I can get Mr. Sultan Ahmed on the phone. Mr. Sultan Ahmed, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Sultan Ahmed, your leader Mamta Banerjee seems to have taken some initiative in the formation of a federal front. Is this something which is this an anti-Modi front?
No, it is our federal front won't be anti-Modi or anti-Rahul.
Okay.
It will be regional front with regional government and regional parties.
What
in
is
all
the,
India basis.
Okay,
we
but-
have, nothing to do with BJP-led NDA and Congress-led UPA.
No, but what is it that, look, when
We will look after the interest of the regional parties and backward region of the country.
okay, so it is more to do with the economic development of the states rather than politics. Are you trying to say that?
No, politics also. Politics free from corruption, which the people of the country noticing in the Congress-led UPA.
Okay, that's very interesting. Vinod?
Yeah.
Okay, please stay on, Mr. Sultan Ahmed. I'll come back to you.
No, I'm busy in a meeting, sir. Please.
Okay.
Thank. Mr. Tyagi is there.
Okay,
Mr. Tyagi will be speaking for the federal front.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sultan Ahmed. Vinod, interesting things being said, but this is not something new which we have heard, but this new thing that they're all forming a federal front to protect the interests of their own state. Politics is also part of it.
Of course, and interestingly, Mr. Sultan Ahmed said that this front, the political aspect would be to fight corruption. He didn't significantly mention communalism.
Right.
But I think that the current...
My specific question to him was, is it an anti-Modi front? He said, no, it's not.
It's not
Neither
an anti-Modi
nor
front, it's not an anti-Rahul front.
Yes.
But it's an anti-corruption front
Right.
as well, and a lot of corruption has happened under the UPA dispensation, which is a fact. Now, I think that, this is, this whole proposal as of today, they are trying to give it the veneer of a program,
Right.
And this is something which the left parties have always been talking, that, there should be an alternative to the BJP.
A
and the
programmatic
Congress,
alternative.
A programmatic alternative. But in this, Mr. Mahtab says this would not include the left parties.
Yeah, exactly.
So evidently the BJD doesn't subscribe to the programs embodied by the left parties in this country. And that perhaps is a big lacuna, in the sense that if the previous fronts that we have seen, starting from the National Front, if you remember, it was supported from outside, it was the VP Singh government, and at that time the Janata Dal, to which my friend Tyagi comes, was a wholesome party, was a wholesome entity that has since fragmented into so many little bits of pieces. There is a Janata Dal Sakala, there is an RJD, there is a Biju Janata Dal, there is a Lok Jan Shakti Party, and there is
JDU itself.
and the JDU, Janata Dal United itself, you know. Now, the whole issue here is that what will hold this front together, a federal front or a third front? You know, you need some solid core to hold this together. And as of today, you know, the left also stands dissipated in Parliament, you know.
Right.
There used to be a time when they had about 60 odd members. And the leadership, you see, the National Front government was continuously, the United Front government was continuously advised by Mr. Hari Surjit,
Right.
which had a good organizer like Mr.
Even the
Chandrababu Naidu as convener.
Even the National Front government in 1989-90 was also had the left parties.
Yes,
very much
because VP Singh would have meetings on 2 different days in a week with the left
Advani,
front and the BJP.
with Mr. Advani and Jyoti Basu.
Yes, so Jyoti Basu or Surjit. You know. The point here is that the federal front idea as of today, despite being a great votary of third front, you know, having experienced them, having seen them Janata Party days, then this Janata Dal government supported from outside, and then, this is now the third time the Gujarat and the Gowda experience. You see, it is sometimes people jocularly call it the third front, you know. I mean, the point is that unless you can give a sustainable government, you can give a program which is distinctive from that of the BJP and the Congress, and you have strong leadership which can inspire confidence, you will not be able to make people rally around the idea. The last time Prakash Karath in 2009 floated the idea,
Yes.
With Mayawati as the face of the third front.
Right.
It did not work. It rather boomeranged on the
Right.
left. So I think that whatever they do, they'll have to do it very cautiously. And perhaps if they want to be a pressure group in Parliament post 2014, I can understand. A pressure group for getting good deal for their respective states. And this right to association and collective bargaining, nobody can deny them.
Right.
But to say that this is going to be a front which may give a government,
which may give an alternative situation. Smita, coming to you, Vinod was talking about the third front experience, of which we also watched and observed very closely that whole experience. Now this federal front concept which Mahtab is talking about and Tyagi is talking about, and for which Sultan Ahmed seems to have given the power of attorney to Mr. Tyagi today at least. You think that this is something which can be a viable one? And very interestingly, as Mr. Sultan Ahmed did not, as Vinod also was pointing out, it's not an anti-communal front. It is an anti-corruption front.
Well, firstly, I don't think at the moment either of these three parties, the Biju Janata Dal, the JDU or the Trinamul Congress, is actually thinking about a front. Given the fact that the next election, the results of the next elections is wide open today, I think each of these regional parties wants to maximize its own seats in the next election, which will increase its bargaining power in, it could be within a third front, it could be vis-a-vis each of the two parties from which they say, the two national parties from which they say they are equidistant today.
Right.
So it's a question of maximizing. It's not a question of differences on policy. It's a question of, whipping up Odia pride, Bihari pride, Bengali pride vis-a-vis the center, that, the center is discriminating against us. We are not doing well economically. We want special status.
Right.
So it's not about policy at all. And in fact, when I think Sitaram Yachuri met Sharad Yadav, after that he made clear that they were not part of any such move at the moment because they are interested in alternative policies.
Right.
So there's a distinction between the left and these three parties.
And these, at least
and Biju Janata Dal saying that they not interested in the left.
Right.
They can't, hold hands with the left as well as the Trinamul Congress.
That is exactly the point. That is exactly the point why I am sure Mahtab is being very careful about, mentioning that the left front is not going to be part of this experiment.
So I think what we are looking at today is if, there is a strong possibility that the Congress and the BJP both together may reach the halfway point, which means that there will be a lot of leeway for regional parties.
Right.
So the regional parties are just sort of flexing their muscles, trying to ensure that they get the largest, as many seats as possible.
Okay.
Now, I just want to make a point about Janata Dal United.
Right.
The other two parties are free to join fronts or to do anything. Janata Dal United, till they make up their minds this weekend, whether they will continue in the NDA, they have a bit of a problem. The reason why they're taking so long is that can the Janata Dal United hope to win a substantial number of seats in Bihar without the help of the BJP?
Right.
And once they commit themselves to this federal front idea, then they can't also join hands with the Congress. They're talking about equidistance between the two.
Absolutely.
So I think that is a problem for the Janata Dal United.
Absolutely. We will discuss that, and I think quite a few interesting issues have been raised, but we will certainly discuss that. But before that, we need to go into a very short break. Please keep watching. We'll come back very soon. Welcome back. We are discussing the possibility of the emergence of a third front or a federal front, as it would be like to call. Mr. Mahtab, right through when Smita was talking, I could see that you were smiling and you had a smile and you continue to have a smile on your face. I don't know, it's a very intriguing smile. All right, but the question is, is there any difference of policies? She spoke about that there are no differences of policies, which Vinod also was mentioning about. And very curiously and interestingly, it is not an anti-communal front, but it's an anti-corruption front. That is what Mr. Sultan Ahmed says. Do you subscribe to that also?
Mr. Vinod and Madam Smita are two senior journalists who have seen the politics of India unfolding itself during last four decades. I want to stand corrected if I have put up that view. Hand-holding has not started yet. Certain discussions have taken place over telephone.
Right.
Mr. Tyagi, of course, has flown to Kolkata and has spoken to Honorable Chief Minister of West Bengal.
Right.
But that is just at a discussion stage.
Right.
That's why I am saying it is in a very nascent stage that this idea of federal front is being discussed.
Right.
Hand-holding has not started. What I was mentioning earlier was that if Trinamul Congress, if JDU, if BJD, if YSR Congress, or if Telugu Desam, or if Jharkhand Babulal Marandi's party, or some other parties come together, there is little scope for some other parties who are opposed to these political parties will coming to the federal front. But what I was mentioning is, earlier in the third front, whatever nomenclature it may be called, it was sometimes Congress which was supporting that, sometimes BJP and left front also were supporting that. So in that respect, you can call them third front, not federal front.
No, this time the equidistance which you said you're talking about is not just with BJP and the Congress, but also with the left front. Obviously, with Mamta's sensitivities in view.
To a certain extent, you are right. But I would also mention here, we have a UPA government where BSP and SP, both of them are supporting this government.
From outside.
Both of them are opposed to each other in Uttar Pradesh.
Right.
Yet they are supporting a government in center.
Right.
So it may so happen that after 2014, when a government is formed, you may have two political parties who are opposed to each other in a certain state also supporting that central government in the center, union government at the center. So politics is after all an art of impossible. So in that respect, I would say many things may happen. But at the same time, I will also mention here that when certain politics never leaves a vacuum, when Congress and BJP are withdrawing or are creating a vacuum in political space in the national level, that vacuum is being filled up by regional political parties.
We don't know whether yes.
Because in most of the states, you will find regional political parties are growing strong and stronger. And their aspiration is the aspiration of the people of the respective states. And when these aspirations combine together, we have seen how it had happened when mineral bearing states like 7 states cutting across party line coming together and putting up a joint memorandum before the Prime Minister and the plan and the NDC. We have seen together they have come in the case of FDI. We have seen coming.
These are all okay. I mean, these are all issues on which they can come together. But
and these are policy issues. These are policy issues.
Yes, but coming together on political grounds is not as easy, and it's quite tricky. Let me get Mr. Tyagi.
Very true. It's not that easy.
Well, let me get Mr. Tyagi in on this. Mr. Tyagi, you know, your party is now all eyes are actually now on your party. As Smita was pointing out, your party's dilemmas are quite different, political dilemmas which you have, which she spoke about the way in which you people you can't take decisions so easily, because whether your party by isolating your or going away from the BJP will be able to perform as well as you performed last time. Is that one of the major concerns which will be addressed tomorrow?
Yes, we have to take some firm decision, and this is less personal, more political.
Right.
We are not opposed to any person. We are opposed to the happenings of the communal right in Gujarat, and the then Chief Minister of there was not able to control it. India is a multi-language,
Mr. Tyagi,
multi-religion country.
Right, Mr. Tyagi.
So
Mr. Tyagi, my question
the Prime Minister candidate must be...
Okay. Yes, please continue.
The Prime Minister candidate be of... Pardon?
No, please continue.
We want a Prime Minister candidate from BJP, but with a credibility of taking people of all walk of life, language, religion, region, and all that. And sorry, Mr. X, who is in hurry in Ahmedabad,
you say that
is not acceptable to us.
No, Mr. Tyagi, but you say that it is not personal, but it's political. But obviously, the person seems to be mattering quite a lot when you have to take this decision, Vinod.
But now he represents certain ideology also.
Absolutely. But Vinod, the kind of vehemence with which Mr. Tyagi is speaking on the issue of communalism, Modi and things like that, the other two parties don't seem to have so much of a problem with that. And is that going to come in the way of a viable federal front as the...
No, I don't think so, because between 2014 and 19, 3 states are going to go to assembly polls.
Yes.
And West Bengal is one of them.
Right.
And I wonder whether Mamta Banerjee would have a dilemma any different from that of Nitish Kumar when she is going into elections after having supported,
even Orissa will be going to...
Yeah, but Orissa doesn't have much of a problem with the Muslim population.
Yes.
But you see, Mamta Banerjee will be as much in a cleft as Nitish is today. And secondly, I don't think, this whole, propaganda of the BJP that the Nitish will lose the forward caste vote if he leaves us. Well, of course, he'll be losing the Muslim vote if he doesn't leave you. Yeah. So the question is, he has a difficult choice to make. And BJP has assumed that the entire forward caste vote is going to be in their kitty.
Okay.
Frankly, the Muslim vote is not at all going to be in their kitty. That is for sure.
Okay,
so
anyway.
Once that is sure, Mr. Nitish Kumar will like to secure that constituency from being poached by Mr. Lalu Yadav and the LJP and the Congress.
Okay, anyway, I'm sure all these will be discussed in the JDU meeting tomorrow and after. Smita, last words to you. So, but is this development which has happened, is it worth watching, or is it something which will dissipate over a short period of time?
Well, we'll know by Sunday whether the JDU really gives the NDA some more time or whether it makes the break right now. because by making these noises about a federal front, if they leave the BJP, it will be rather hard for them then to form some kind of a seat adjustment with the
any other
Congress
party.
party. So
Absolutely.
they'll have to consider going it alone.
Okay.
And perhaps this federal front idea might, by holding the hands of the Trinamul and the BJD, they might gain some strength. Perhaps that is what may be going on in their minds also.
Okay, Smita, on that note, I think we need to end because we completely run out of time. But this is a proposition which, as I said right at the beginning, which keeps coming up periodically. But again, we will have to keep a close watch and see how this whole idea will formulate. Thanks to all my guests, Mr. Mahtab, Mr. K.C. Tyagi, Mr. Sultan Ahmed, who joined us earlier, Vinod Sharma and Smita Gupta. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue on the big picture, same time on Monday.